What's up, homies? Welcome to another episode of the Homies Real Estate Podcast. This is your host, Anthony.
I'm Angel.
I'm a realtor.
I'm a lender.
And hopefully together we can break down this crazy real estate market. It's the beginning of the month. What time is it, Angel?
It is market update time.
Time to go over the market update for Orange County, right? The stats just came in for October. We're going to recap it and see whether prices went up or down. Are there more homes for sale? Is it still a seller's market? What can we expect moving forward? So, like usual, I'm gonna go rocket rounds. I'm just gonna quickly go over what the market looks like. Then me and Angel are gonna decipher it. So, first things first, we look at median sales price. Median sales price increased $15,000 from September, and it's increased quite a bit, about $130,000 since the beginning of the year. When we look at the amount of homes for sale, it did increase. This is good news for you buyers. It increased by about 200 more homes for sale. When we look at the median days on market, it remained 8 days on market. So it hasn't really budged much. The lowest we had this year was 7 days on market. Again, this is still really quick. You have to make sure you're putting in an offer as soon as possible because you really have a couple days to negotiate. When we look at inventory month supply, what this means is if there was no more homes listed in in Orange County, this is how long it will take for the current inventory to be sold. Right now it sits at 1.2 months. This is extremely low. In a balanced market, we're talking about 5 months. In a buyer's market, we're talking about 5+ months. So right now we're sitting at 1.2 months. This is almost the lowest we had all year. So we're in an extreme seller's market. You want to make sure you're moving quick on homes. Now, when we look at median price per square foot, this is another true indication whether prices are actually going up or down. And we'll see this straight slope since December, where in December, median price per square foot was $449, and it's increased every single month since, and it's now at $538. That's about a $90 increase in median price per square foot. It increased $8 since last month. So it's not looking so good for you buyers. You want to make sure that you're putting in a very strong offer if you're looking in Orange County. And then lastly, we're going to look at closed volume. So closed volume is the amount of sales multiplied by the price of the home, and then this gives you closed volume. Right now it's at 6.7 billion. It did decrease, but that's expected from last month because the seasonality of real estate tells us that summer is the hottest and it only goes down through the winter and it starts going back up in the spring, right? So it did decrease, but it's still on par with what we had last year. It's a little bit less than last year. Again, October was the peak last year for closed volume, not just here in Orange County, but in Los Angeles County. But nonetheless, the real estate market is still thriving. I mean, we're still seeing quite a bit of sales, and then those sales are obviously as high as they've ever been before. Angel, what catches your attention about the Orange County real estate market?
Man, this Orange County market does not slow down. Everything's just favoring you sellers out there in Orange County, which is kind of a different, completely different story compared to LA County. LA County's finally cooling off, has for the last couple months, and Orange County, it's you guys are staying strong. Appreciation is still going up. Days on market, I can't believe it's still under 10, right? To be at 8 days on market it's insane that you guys have that Orange County has held it for that many days. Honestly, just very surprising to me that it continues, especially, how Anthony mentioned the seasonality of real estate. These aren't supposed to keep going up during this time. So I'm very curious to see how October's market update goes. November's market update goes, and of course December as well, right? Those are really the two slowest months along with January. But Yeah, it's honestly it's astonishing to see that it hasn't slowed down at all. It just means that you buyers have to be on top of it, right? Like Anthony said, you guys have to be out seeing homes, being active, putting in offers on multiple properties, and make strong offers, right? Very critical to be in contact with your realtor and lender to figure out how short can you keep contingencies, how quick can you close escrow, things like that are gonna help your offer get accepted. But yeah, it's very very crazy to see this market stay this strong in Orange County.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised myself because seasonality of real estate tells us that the market's supposed to cool off in the winter and in the fall, and it typically does in Orange County. But we set a record for median sales price in October, which is very rare. The inventory month supply is as low as it's ever been, 1.2. The amount of listings that we have is just 200 higher than the lowest we've ever seen in Orange County, and we're talking 3,338 listings. We're typically talking closer to 7,000 listings, or 6 to 7,000 listings. So we have about half the inventory right now. And then obviously median days on market is just 8. So it's a really tough market for you buyers. I mean, it's really favoring these sellers. You just want to make sure as a buyer that you're not really trying to negotiate. You're just trying to put in the strongest offer you can. And hopefully that's good enough to get you a counter, or hopefully get your offer accepted. It's going to be very tough to see a home that's been on the market for a few days and then put an offer under asking price or even at asking price. You're probably going to need to go a significant amount over asking price to get some of these offers accepted. Angel, what's your projection for the remainder of the year for Orange County?
Man, it's I want to assume it's gonna cool down, right? That's just what history tells us, and history is usually right. So I'm gonna make that guess that it is gonna cool down. I don't think it's gonna cool down that much, but it's hard for me to see it to continue to increase throughout the rest of the year. So I expect median sales price to drop just a bit, days on market to hopefully by the end of the year to get to at least 10 days, right? Month supplies and homes on market to increase just a bit as well.
Yeah, I think I align with Angel's projection. I don't think that it's going to go up moving into November, the median sales price. I mean, that's quite a bit of a jump from 900 to 915. I project that prices should maybe go down $5,000. And then end the year, right now it's at 915. I think it'll end the year around 905, if I had to guess, or maybe 900. I would say 900. I'm going to guess it'll probably go down 2 consecutive months in a row. But I mean, it's really difficult to say just because there's so little listings. There's so little inventory available right now. So if there's a lot of buyers that really want a home, all these homes are going to sell, and they're going to sell over asking price. So I'm going to end my projection around 905 actually in December. So probably closer to 910 next month in November. Angel, so do you have any tips right now? Because this is a really difficult market for buyers. I mean, you can tell a seller, hey, seller, sell your igloo, and they'll sell an igloo right now because homes are just so expensive and it's so competitive. But almost any tip will work for a seller. But now, what would you advise a buyer in such a competitive market like Orange County?
Depending on when you got pre-qualified, let's say that was, some people have been looking for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, right? I would, and I think I kind of mentioned this last podcast, but interest rates aren't what they probably were at that time, right? So what does that mean is, let's say you're trying to purchase a home at your absolute max that you got qualified for 3-4 months ago. That you are not going to qualify for that anymore, right? So I don't know if you're in contact with your lender, if you stay in contact, or you ask them, give them estimates on monthly payments, things like that. But I highly suggest, especially if you got, again, you got pre-qualified 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago, to go back to your lender and ask them, has anything changed? Do I still qualify for the same? Where is the interest rate today? Questions like that, right? Because the last thing you want is you put an offer at your absolute max, and then you're trying to get into escrow, and within the first couple of days, your lender says, unfortunately, you don't qualify anymore just because interest rates have gone up, right? So I highly suggest that. I hope you guys do take that advice because, obviously time is money, and if you guys have been out there looking for months, you don't want to finally get in and then not be able to purchase your house.
That's a really good point, Angel. Interest rates, they change, just like the stock market. Every single day, it's either going to go up or down, even if it's just a little bit. So the amount that you're qualified for originally isn't always going to be the amount that you're going to qualify for when it's time to purchase, especially if it's been several months, like Angel mentioned. So it's not just a lender's responsibility to kind of stay in contact with you, make sure that you're looking and make sure that keep you informed about the interest rate market, but it's also you also need to do your due diligence as a buyer to like, hey, you know what, I'm going to check in with my lender every month just to see where interest rates are at and see if that's impacted my qualification amount, because like Angel said, last thing you want to do is finally get your offer accepted to find out that you don't qualify anymore. So Angel, that was a great tip there. Homies, thank you so much for joining this podcast. You buyers, keep your heads up. What I've noticed so far is that those buyers that are consistently looking week after week after week, putting in aggressive offers, have been the ones that have found their homes. And then those that have been a little bit more pessimistic, like, you know what, it's a little bit difficult, I'm going to look at homes here and there, are the ones that have been sitting on the sidelines for 6 months to a year, seeing these prices get more and more expensive, seeing the mortgage payment get more and more expensive. So just keep your heads up. Don't get discouraged by this market. Thank you, homies, for listening. Want to wish you all the best. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Hey, homies, it's Anthony. This podcast contains my opinions and is for educational purposes only. It does not guarantee any projections and should not serve as a basis for any purchase or sale in real estate.